All right. So since Amy's so afraid of bears, and I am in no way afraid of bears whatsoever, I got this for her. I got her some bear spray. Ultramag Shotgun Series Guard Alaska Bear Repellent. It's developed and tested in the wild of Alaska, so you know it's good. But I got a couple of these guys for the garden, so just in case we're out here and we need a couple of these, we'll have them. Even though we probably should carry it on ourselves at all times, this isn't bear country like that, so I'm not too worried about that. But at least we'll have it if we need it, and then run over here and grab it and use it, hopefully. So, but I'm gonna set this out here for now, and let's go walk in the garden. Let's go walk in the garden. Let's go walk in the garden and find ourselves a snack. Squeaky. These are very squeaky. Our tomatoes. Sorry, a little breeze here. You see that trellising at work. But they've definitely produced a lot. They've got a lot of fruit on them that is starting to ripen a little bit at a time. Like there might be one on the other side over there. But they're looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. Look at these guys. Those are about ready to pick. I'll get on the other side over there. This guy's split, but he's got some salvageability to him. He looks like he healed up. I don't know if it's rotten, but we'll see. Oh, it feels pretty stiff here. So might just be a little superficial damage there. But they're definitely starting to get some color to them, so we're about to start picking tomatoes. Let's see if this little guy's, yeah, he had a little bit of end rot on him. Toss that guy over. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to get something to get these guys. So you can leave them on the vine to ripen, and there's some talk about whether or not that's a good thing. So the question becomes, will they get sweeter on the vine? But usually once they start flushing like this, where they've gotten a little bit of color to them, they're going to ripen off the vine just fine. Now, it's probably best to come in and just snip it, but I don't have snippers right now, and I'm not going to worry about it. It'll be fine. So the argument, I think, with the tomatoes is whether or not they will get sweeter if you leave them on the vine. And one paper someone wrote says that they will not get sweeter because they don't get oxygen to the sugars that's left in the tomatoes. And that would make sense if the tomatoes left on the vine still got oxygen from the parent plant. But there's some research that says that that's not how that works, because it says once it starts to flush like that, that the plant actually doesn't give much more to the tomato. However, I don't know that that's true either, because it clearly gives water to the tomato, because if you leave them on the vine, you do risk, if there's a bunch of water, them swelling and splitting. So, I don't know. But I know that we pick them a little bit early because it doesn't hurt anything, and it keeps them away from the pests. So, most of you have we've probably said it before. Could really use a basket. But we make use of pockets. These inventions called pockets. Look at that guy there. Oh, there's a little baby watermelon. this is probably our biggest watermelon here. It's about the size of those little apples, or maybe a tomato at this point. Yeah, we're starting to get some watermelons though. So you'll see how everything ends up. They're getting some water on them. I just got to be real careful now to not come around and step on anything. But yeah, there's a little baby watermelon there. Our second bed here is where we planted we'll start where we planted first. We planted black-eyed peas and okra. So 3 rows of okra, 2 rows of black-eyed peas, and later on we planted this row of squash and zucchini, which basically matches our other one. And we thought we might get a little break, and we did get a week break, but well, there's a zucchini. So we'll see. We're not going to get too much of a break, and that's fine. We bought a bigger freezer, and so now we are going to have more squash to fill it. And our black-eyed peas are growing really well. There's another dragonfly. I don't know if you can see him. Look at that guy. Hey, buddy. You're doing a good job over here. But a lot of black-eyed peas in here, growing well. And our next big crop for us is going to take a lot of work, is going to be okra. Or okra, depending on how southern you feel. And I got a couple of them right in there. They're almost ready to be picked. And I picked 4 or 5 earlier. They're just now starting to get to the point where they're actually producing. So all of these, not all of them even have flowers yet, but they're going to. But these are definitely going to be heavy producers for us. I mean, these guys are already up to my waist in height too, which is kind of scary because I think they're going to grow so tall. I may not be able to pick off of them, but that's fine too. And then corn is tasseling and starting to look like there's some actual corn on it. It does some weird stuff in here, I think, when you have too much nitrogen. It grows really well, but you get some weird combinations of corn. So one thing, and we'll walk through here, give you guys a little walk through. Is that cool or what? So check this guy out. If you notice, there's a tassel at the top, and there's also silk. So this is kind of a deformity that can happen where a part of a plant can get a male and female parts of the reproductive system. And here's what's interesting about it. It actually creates corn. You see that? But the corn will grow without a husk. So insects and stuff will just tear that up easily. But it's kind of interesting. It's got both reproductive parts, and it's a half a corn at the bottom and silk and a tassel on the same stalk. I'm getting the same thing here, it looks like. So these aren't going to be viable corn, but they're just kind of, I guess, mutations, and it seems to, I guess, happen when you have an imbalance of nutrients, too much nitrogen compared to phosphorus and potassium. So it's not a big deal because we still have plenty of corn that's actually perfectly normal, but there's definitely some stuff on here. I'm always looking for these little, what looks like poops, because it usually means something is eating and then dropping poop there. I don't exactly see anything right now, but always something to keep in mind and keep an eye out for. But so we'll see on this corn. We'll either get a lot, it'll be weird corn, or it'll be good corn. I'm hoping it'll be good corn. Just forgot. So we've been doing some canning here, as you can see. A couple of quick things. So we got this old stove here, and it's got these just regular old eyes on it. Well, when we were doing our canning, especially with our liter canning, this thing gets super heavy. I mean, it is heavy, and these have to get really hot for a long period of time. So the old one, actually, these welds here just melted off, and it crushed this thing down. So we went online and bought this guy, which, I'll pull it out of here, has a reinforced bottom, basically specifically designed for canning and for heavy things. So, and it fits right in here. It actually wasn't supposed to fit GE ovens, but it did fit ours. And this guy worked pretty well. So I will put a link in the description for this guy. If you guys don't want to crush your... If I can get it to go back in there. I say it fits really well, and as I put it back in there, it's bad. The other thing is, this is actually a little bit smaller. That's maybe the reason why they say it doesn't fit. But it's on the lip, and there's no way it's failing. So, yeah, I definitely recommend getting one of these guys. It also holds it up a little bit higher, so you can see if you're centered on the canner, make sure, and it gets a little bit better airflow underneath there, which, you know, I think is really what happens is it crushes this thing down, then all the heat stays in here and it gets really hot. So theoretically, your temperature control is going to be better with this as well, because it's not meant to be crushed in there with no heat escaping. But we just canned some of our last beans here off of those plants that we pulled up. So 5 pints there. But I want to show you guys how we have pickles, sweet pickles over here. And we've made some relish as well. Some more sweet pickle dills. We've got a few tomatoes that we picked off. And I picked, not my first pepper, but my first cowhorn pepper. Look at this beautiful thing. I don't know, I think that's just really pretty. The colors are always amazing on peppers. It's one of the fun parts about growing them. But it curled up like this. Cowhorns are pretty good. They're spicy like a pepper should be, but they're not crazy hot. So I'll cut it up, put it on a burger or something, just add a little spice to it. You know, you can put it in anything. I mean, really whatever you want to do. But we also have our Siamese twin squash that we picked a while ago. We don't know what to do with it because we're like, we don't really want to do anything. So it'll probably just sit there and rot, but it's kind of funny looking. In this box right here, I have some of the plums that weren't quite ripe enough for freezing, so we're putting them in this box here just to let them ripen, if they will. And then we're going to put those in the freezer or do something with them as well. So pretty neat. We got some more jars underneath there. We've got more jars underneath there. Just chaos and anarchy in jars. We got this book here. We got this book here. I got a bunch of apples I picked. Chaos. Let's go into the cellar. Got a whole mess of popsicles down in the cellar. Leave a comment if you know what that's from. What a mess! But check this out. Onions. Lots of onions down here. We got lots of onions that we've already picked. They didn't get huge, but they're decent sized onions. So those are all our sets. I don't think any of those are actually from our seed starts, which will be a little bit bigger than those. I need to spread these out, but here are our potatoes as well. Some bigger potatoes up here we put on this rack, but I weighed them, so that's why they're in the bags. But look at this. Don't get jealous. I know we're not supposed to show our stash as quote-unquote preppers, but this is our store. Don't try coming in here. It will not end well for you. But we got a bunch of empty jars down there. We got a ton of beans, green beans over here. This is, I think we've got 40 some odd quarts, a little bit more than 40 quarts of beans, not counting the ones we just did upstairs. And then we have a ton of various pickles down here. And then these are all the empty jars that we have down here as well. So, we got a lot of space that we filled up down here. We got these guys off of Amazon, these shelves. Pretty easy to put together. And got some random potatoes over here, because that's what happens. And here's the latest and greatest for us. So we got a freezer, an upright freezer. It's a Medea brand. Yeah, we'll give you guys a link to it too. But it's pretty simple. Not a whole lot of different options. It's a fridge or freezer, whichever one you want it to be set to is an option, which is kind of nice. But we're pretty much just using it for a freezer and probably going to always be that way. But let's open this bad boy up so you can see inside. Wow, look at that. Amazing. So it's got the metal racks for cooling. This is all the plums we've frozen so far. There's some cherries that we had, and this is all the blackberries that we picked off that we haven't eaten. Also, this is some of the squash that we froze, so you guys can see how much food. There's another row back there. And then we put a few of our tomatoes in here as well that we're just going to freeze, because as they kind of start, and there's only a few of them, we don't want them to go to waste. But we got a lot of space in here now that we've got to fill up, and we will fill it up fast. There's going to be a ton of okra in here too, because okra freezes well, so we like to freeze a bunch of it, chop it up and freeze it. And as you can see, we still have some more plums and stuff outside. And so, yeah, kind of neat. Also, over here, we have more in this little freezer. So just to show you how much squash and zucchini we have shredded up. It's not counting what we've eaten. We've given some of it away, and yeah, that's about it. We've given some of it away, and some of it was too big to even use. So we composted that stuff. But this is what's left, including what's in that freezer of all of those squash and zucchini from one row. And we just decided to start another one, which is stupid. We'll see what happens with that row. I love this angle with the sun shining through the leaves. Makes them glow. These okra right here are absolutely gorgeous. These are the rainbow mix okra. They look a little bit like those coleus plants that I think they're called coleus, that have that neon green look to them, and they've got red in them. It's really cool looking. See the bees over there working away too. All right, y'all, that's my update for today. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the next time. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're in tomato season now, it looks like, and okra season. So, and then our corn's not too far away. We just have to keep a really good eye on it, because it's not all grown at the same exact rate. So when the corn's ready, we're going to have to be ready to pick it when each cob is ready. So, all right, guys, y'all take it easy. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.